last shadow hand experience, I was 5 years old. I had a bamboo bird cage that sat in the very tall corner of my room. It was not something that I could reach on my own purposely, so I wasn't playing with my birds. They got covered every night before bed so that they would sleep and not chirp and be up all night. One night I was awoke to something that caused my birds to chirp. So I look up, and the cover that was normally on the bird cage was no longer on the bird cage. I look up and I'm watching, and all I see is a black shadowy hand. The only way that I can describe this hand is probably from elbow to fingertips. It was a solid shadow, not misty. You couldn't see through it at all, but it did have some texture kind of coming out of it. I'm not, sure what it was. The fingers were very phalange-like, almost Grinch-like, very long and spindly, and they just had shadow coming out of them. And I just gradually watched it moving towards my bird cage. The bird cage had a door that you actually had to slide open and put your hand in to let the birds out. All of a sudden, I see this shadow hand open my bird cage, and as soon as it goes into the bird cage, it disappeared. Just vanished. And my birds flew out, and I was so scared. So I don't know why, but I was screaming bats. I think they were little finches. So the association with me being so young, I just started screaming bats. My parents then ran in frantic, and they just basically stood there in awe, watching my birds fly around the room because they just had no explanation on how they could have gotten out of their cage. It never was talked about again. I'd ask questions about it. My parents, I don't know. Some things aren't meant to be explained. Some things are always meant to be a mystery.